Brain Candy Podcast, episode 769 at long last. Sarah's been waiting for this moment.
69 every time. It is really funny to me.
Happy December. Winding it down. Like we're winding the year down.
Thank goodness. I'm ready for this year to be over. I don't know why.
You know what?
What?
I think a lot of people are.
Yeah?
Remember how I said, like, we keep getting messages from people being like, it's been a rough year.
Oh, yeah.
People are not okay.
It felt like in a weird way, like a filler year. You know what I mean? Like, it's like not a year where, like a limbo year. I'm like, I just got to get through this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of stuff that was, I mean, I shouldn't say that. Bo passed away. It was just like, like a little humps to get over. Like, ugh, just got to get over this.
Well, I mean, I can see why
I guess that's life.
Down.
Yeah.
It's life, I guess.
That's life. I just feel optimistic about the new year.
You always do.
I know. It's my greatest gift and greatest curse. What the heck?
Really? You feel like good days ahead?
Yeah.
That's so nice.
I do. I got surgery coming up in January.
What's better than that?
What's better than that? I'm gonna get. I'm gonna maybe not have pain. That's awesome. Yeah. So I feel like that is good.
Yeah, you're about to have your last ever period.
Yeah, maybe.
What wait? You cannot have it after, right?
Well, I don't know if they're gonna give me a hysterectomy yet.
Oh,
they don't know.
God damn it. If they go in there and take some stuff, but not the stuff that makes the period, I would actually be mad. I'd be like, you left
what
that?
The hell?
Because that is no fun. But, I mean, I get why it's important. Right. It's all that
I don't want all the stuff that comes with it.
Okay, so it'll be a surprise party.
It is. It's kind of a surprise party. They just schedule for the worst and then hope for the best is kind of the thing.
Oh, my God. What's your prediction?
Well, like we just said, I'm usually pretty optimistic.
You're like, they're not going to find anything.
My prediction is that they're going to go in there and going to be like, what? There's nothing here.
What was all fuss about?
Right. That's my prediction / greatest fear. But I already discussed that with the doctor, and he says that is every woman's fear, and that is because you guys are not believed when you're told that it's nothing for so many years. And so you feel like, oh, it's probably nothing. But he said, I can see on this ultrasound, this does not go away, but just by itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I know there is something, but I'm going to
make sure you weigh yourself beforehand.
Right? That's what, and I was going to go, so I had saved up some money because I haven't bought clothes since pre-pandemic. So I had saved up some money and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go buy myself some new clothes. And by new, I mean probably from Poshmark. And then it crossed my mind that my body has changed so much because of weird bloating and things growing inside me and I should not be investing in.
Yeah, it's not time. You could do that afterwards.
Right. So I was like, okay, springtime it is. We're gonna we're gonna wait like because reward. I'm pretty sure, even if it's just a little bit, they're taking parts out of me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
for sure.
There you
go. Okay.
That's my story about the inside of my body and this upcoming year.
That's why she's optimistic.
That's why I'm optimistic. How are you feeling about the new year?
Pretty good, actually.
Oh, have you been thinking about your theme for 2024?
Yeah, I have.
Do you have
I have
something?
A whole speech prepared.
I can't wait.
Whenever I announce it.
This is very exciting.
It is. Well, I guess it's not totally determined yet, but it's been a hard choice. I've been thinking a lot about it. It's really not easy to choose a theme.
Well, yeah, after so many good ones, how do you follow up laughter and music and adventure?
Yeah, right. For real, it is going downhill. Well, because the point of the theme had always been instead of resolution, I'm going to make a theme because then I'll know I'll do it. It won't be oh no, I have to exercise or do something hard. It's something I look forward to doing.
Right. It's go visit Sarah.
Right. At a certain point though, you have to realize especially since I'm in the pump club.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
That if you want to be useful, you do have to do hard things. So
you do.
I'm keeping that in mind when I choose my theme.
Hard things are only hard when well, that's not true. They can be hard all the time, but they are only scary or uncomfortable, maybe a little bit, or they're more uncomfortable in the beginning before you get in the habit when you haven't been doing those things. Like adventure, I feel like if I were to ask you like 3 years ago about adventure, you would have been like, we don't do that. Yeah, and then now you're like the most excited ever about adventure.
Yes. Well, whatever I choose, it will be something that I'm confident that I can fulfill. I am not interested in empty promises in any area of my life. I hate that.
Right.
So if I commit to something, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you are very good at that.
So stand by.
Well, I look forward to the speech.
What about yours?
I don't know. I'm going to probably just steal something like one of yours.
That's great. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then that's realistic.
Yeah, right? That seems separate. Didn't I pick like being grounding last year?
Yes, you
like
did.
Yeah. So I feel like
You did that. You've lived longer at that address than you have for like anywhere in 10 years or something.
That's true. I think I am coming up on over a year of living here.
Yeah, so let's
I'm going
not
to have to
renew
my lease with Eli.
You did?
No, I should, though.
Okay, yeah.
I tell him that. I was like, oh, no. The price of rent is going up by the day. So and this is a good location. I got to lock this shit in. So I don't know.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't want to count your chickens. But one thing I know for sure in the new year is that we will be eating wild grain bread.
Duh.
Because
I make a resolution to eat more
bread, more carbs in general.
Soup season.
Yeah, soup season. And wild grain bread is delicious. It comes to your door frozen. And it's not just bread. It's pasta and pastries and stuff. And you can, customize the box to be, if you only want pastries, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Have that be your freaking holiday gift.
That is a great holiday gift, and I like when people give bread as holiday gifts. That's really nice.
It is nice.
Yeah, this is a way to have fresh baked bread. Your whole entire house will smell like a bakery. It's amazing.
It's amazing, and you can now fully customize your wild grain box so you can get any combination of breads, pastas, and pastries you like. If you want a box of all bread, all pasta, all pastries, you can have it. Plus, for a limited time, you can get $30 off the first box, plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy to start your subscription. You heard me. Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy. That's wildgrain.com/braincandy, or you can use promo code braincandy at checkout. Bread. Alrighty. First up on my list, I did watch Mike Birbiglia's new comedy special.
Gosh, it looks so good.
As the old man in the pool, it's exquisite.
Oh, I love him.
I don't. I'm not a huge fan. I just never got into him, but I watched it and it was masterful.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
I love how you say that. Okay, tell me. Let's break it down. Tell me
well, the premise is he's 44. He's my age, and he is approaching mortality. And so his dad had a heart attack at 56, and his grandfather had a heart attack at 56. And so that's sort of the backdrop for the whole situation. And so he is coping with the fact that he can't sort of skate by. He's at an age where, like, you got to, like, decide, are you going to make some good choices or not? And so the framework is that he's talking to his physician, but it keeps flashing back to, like, stories of his childhood and funny, obviously, stories of, like, his life. And then it would always come back in the doctor's office. And so it was really created in a clever way. And then it was just a laugh a minute. It really was. One of my favorite bits was relatable, as they often are, where when you're growing up and, like, you judge somebody's wealth on silly stuff. You know how, like, I thought Red Lobster was, like, the pinnacle of extravagance.
Yeah, I thought having a phone in your own room made you rich.
Yeah, stuff like that. The smallest of things can feel like indicative of something very big. And he said, this guy, we went to his house and we knew he was rich because instead of having just like a doorbell ding dong, it was like ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. And I was like, I have experienced that where if someone has like an elaborate doorbell, you're like, whoa. It's like old money or something. Fancy. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Funny how that doesn't work the same for the old car horn.
Right. Why can't we customize? We have long lobbied for this and there has been no movement. But he actually discussed the thing I talk about embalming and how really that's still how this is going. We're still doing that and it's still awful and people look like garbage. Yeah. And he said people should be taxidermied in a pose where they're catching a football or doing something really great. It was great.
I see you, Wax Museum, and I raise you.
Yeah. The taxidermy
Hall of Fame, yeah.
I always know when something's great, though, when I make Adam watch it after I've completed it.
Oh,
that's
nice.
My litmus test where I'm like, okay, now you got to watch it.
Okay, this sounds good because we need an afternoon. Eli is very sick, and you're not getting off the couch, kind of sick.
Oh no!
And he needs. I think laughter is the best medicine. After
oh my gosh, he'll love it.
So I feel like we have to watch this, and it's about being sick and so.
I will say that because it's about existential stuff, there are it's punctuated with very somber, gets quiet and then it is funny again. So there are those
that.
moments.
It's that's kind of what's her name that we loved so much? Hannah Gatsby.
Yeah, but it's funnier than that.
Yeah. Wow! I can't wait!
She gets pretty dark.
Yeah. She's crying.
Just as an aside, one thing I didn't know about him, which I saw on Wikipedia, but then he did discuss later in his special, was that he has this horrific sleep disorder, the ones where you are asleep but you do terrible things.
Yeah.
And he jumped out of a La Quinta window, a second floor window at one point.
No!
Yeah, and he has to now take medicine and then zip himself up into a sleeping bag and wear mittens so he can't undo it.
Oh my! You wonder what makes people comedians.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Okay, I am no doctor, but I bet that is the understatement of the year.
Okay.
But I see a connection between lack of restful sleep and your body being in a fight or flight state that maybe puts a lot of strain on your heart that could maybe...
No doubt.
Okay. How could it not, right?
Yeah. Because you know how they always say longevity, it's diet, exercise, and sleep, community, whatever. Yeah. Which reminds me of another bit he did about how he had to go see a nutritionist and how they know everything that we already know. And how imagine the most annoying person that you know charging you. And that's what a nutritionist is. And I was like, that's what we talk about on Brain Candy. How we already know all the answers.
I know. Right? It's
we just aren't doing them.
We're not doing anything. It turns out.
So what do you think about this sleep thing? Why are you worried about this? What made you sort of think about this idea?
Well, I dated a guy who had
the football strapped his back. Yep.
Who had some weird sleep issues, and he called me years after we dated and asked if there were any certain behaviors that he did in the middle of the night because he's starting to show signs of I think it's the same thing that Robin Williams had, Louis Body, was something along those lines because it all is tied together. It's plaque on the brain or like the whatever. I don't know what it is, but like.
Well, and you do wonder like causation. Is it that that makes you not sleep and then it manifests in the, or is it the lack of sleep that then?
Yeah. And maybe I'm thinking about that because of the lack of sleep I got after thinking it was a fucking good idea to fly Spirit Airlines for anything more than a half an hour.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
Let the record show.
I told Sarah we need some clarification about this.
I
on
was
Instagram,
not.
Let's set it up. If you didn't see Sarah's Instagram, there was a 2-part reel.
Could be 3. I have more.
To be continued. A trilogy.
Yeah.
Where you and Eli flew to Florida on Spirit Airlines. And from what, as a viewer, I inferred that this was Sarah wanting the full Spirit experience.
No, Eli said that to be funny. Experience.
I really believed him.
You know what? And he's too damn convincing with that tone because
when you laughed.
Because he's hilarious.
I thought it was like, I admit it. I thought it was that kind.
And that does seem on brand. I would be the kind of person that's like, no, let's just do it.
Let's do it. It's fun.
It's
like camping, but on a plane.
Yeah, I would say something so fucking annoying like that. No, that is not the case.
He wanted these tickets. Why?
I think we both wanted to not have to.
You wanted to be frugal.
Yes, we wanted to be frugal, and I had never flown the unfriendly skies.
Yeah,
and so I was not aware.
You were okay. So you're gonna claim ignorance here.
Susie, I'm gonna claim multiple things. I'm gonna claim ignorance. I'm going to claim bait and switch, like on the time we would be in the air. They're like, oh, we have a tailwind, and now it's only 3.5 hours. And I'm like, it was a red eye. We left at fucking midnight.
You didn't want a tailwind.
I know. I want to slow, take an extra lap, do a loop. I want some extra Z's. Let me live.
Some extra Z's.
Then you know how many Z's you got? 0 Z's.
Yeah,
then I wanted a plane that wasn't brand new. These were brand new Spirit planes. Let me tell you what they've done. Some might call them upgrades. I would call them downgrades. They made their seats thinner. They made them. They don't recline.
How do you know this if you have no comparison?
Because I've seen images.
Oh, okay, got it.
And the armrest is laughable.
Right.
Laughable. Like
they should just make it a bench and call it a day.
Right. It is so I had no idea that there was going to be no like it was it's
worse than you even imagined.
It was so much worse than I imagined. And at the end of the day, because originally I thought I was bringing all my recording equipment, so we bought the tickets. We bought it with luggage for both of us too. So at the end of the day, I think it was probably $50 different than the other ticket.
Right, that's the thing.
And
it's not really a bargain.
No, it's not. And I'm like, Eli, I would so gladly pay 3 times the price of this ticket. Then I was going through my head, like, how much money would I pay right now to be in any other position than this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, we even had, on the way back, we had an extra seat. So there was an open middle seat or an open end seat. And I just, adjusted my body. I was sitting against the window, put my legs up on Eli. And I'm like, man, did they send somebody in here to design the plane for maximum discomfort? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like even with available space, you still cannot recline. It like the plane starts to curve before the head. Right. Your head. If you're anything taller than 5'6", don't sit in a window because you'll have to sit with your head tilted the whole time because the curvature of the plane.
Predatory. It really is.
It feels wrong. I'm like, how is this legal?
Adam always says that.
How is this legal? It should. I'm sorry. It's torture. That's inhumane. That is inhumane.
Honestly, because there's a lot of flights out of Pittsburgh that are Spirit and that are nonstop to where I'm going, and I always choose a layover over a nonstop Spirit.
I will do that now. I will never, ever.
Lesson learned.
Ever. But it sure made for, like...
Hilarity.
Yeah, and maybe it's a little bit of that comfort crisis thing where, like, we don't have a lot of opportunities to be...
I guess.
Uncomfortable.
I want to be able to be in the driver's seat, though, of, like, my own discomfort. I don't want to be blind.
Trapped. Right.
The only thing that could make it more comfortable is if you were, hopefully, God willing, wearing a Jenny Kane sweater at the time.
I did have my nice Jenny Kane slippers on.
Oh, that's good. That had to help.
Yes.
I mean...
Of course, because those are, like...
reminder.
Super cozy. You can slide in. They're perfect. They're the perfect airport shoe.
They are.
Because it keeps you warm.
But they look chic.
You can wear them with socks. They look chic and in and out quickly. So you're not wasting any time.
I mean, Jenny Kane has a solution, whether you're flying Spirit or not, for comfort and elegance and coziness, especially with their sweaters. The cashmere cocoon, I love it. It's in everything I post. They have gloves and cozy socks and beanies, all kinds of accessories too. They are the timeless pieces that you'll have in your closet forever. And it's something you can feel good about too, because get the heck out of fast fashion.
Yes.
I'm not into it. Gift yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all. Jenny Kane, our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use our code BRAINCANDY at jennykane.com. That's 15% off your first order, JENNIKAYNE.com. Use code BRAINCANDY. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. And all these codes are always on our website, and you can always DM us if you can't find one.
We love that.
We do love it. I'm sorry you experienced that difficult time.
That's the most difficult thing. Yeah, thoughts and prayers. Everything's fine. Yeah. It makes sense if you're traveling with children, which is why it makes sense for me to not fly on there.
That seems like it would be a real nightmare with kids, though.
Ew. On the plane, on our way back, there was a couple that had a 2-year-old 2-year-old baby.
Yeah.
This dad, he's the kind of guy who the wife went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's like he didn't know what to do.
He thinks he's babysitting.
I said that exact same thing to Eli. I said, Eli, I bet he's the kind of guy who thinks that anytime he watches his own child, he's babysitting. Like, he was like, like patting it on the head like it was like a doll that he had never seen before, didn't know what to do with. Like, he moved over to the empty seat across from us and said, I got to take a break. Oh! And I looked at Eli and I said, I wonder if she ever gets a break.
Yeah, that's.
And I said it loud enough for him to hear. And then he moved back over.
This is like Sarah's wound up in life.
Oh yeah,
now.
I am a little wound up in life.
But just so you know, that's why she's in the bathroom. Okay,
yeah,
that's why she's in there. She's like, I had diarrhea. No, you didn't. She needs a break.
She needs a break, right?
From her husband and her children.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this guy's the worst. So, anyways, I hope he's listening.
Yeah, F that guy. He's definitely not listening.
Yeah, no. Anyways.
I read an amazing piece in the New York Times about Cookie Monster's cookies.
Oh.
It was so good, Sarah.
Tell me.
Like, every line, I was like, this is gold. I love it. It's so cute. So the journalist said that one time they got an email, and it was just like one line from somebody, and it was like, what's up with Cookie Monster's cookies? And it like just tickled the journalist. So then eventually he was like, I got to find out what is up with Cookie Monster's cookies. If you're not familiar, Cookie Monster, he's, real hungry, and his cookies are like, they're flat-ish and like very crumbly.
Very crumbly.
And so he wanted to find out, like, what are they made of? And like, what's the how's it go?
What's the recipe?
Yes. Well, we have it now. The recipe comes from a puppet wrangler for Children's Workshop who makes Sesame Street. And her name is Laura McLean. And she makes them in her home. And the recipe roughly is pancake mix, puffed rice, grape nuts, and instant coffee.
Oh.
With water.
To get the coloring, right? I love Prop Master's tricks. There's nothing cooler. Okay, go ahead.
Nothing cooler.
It's my favorite.
They mixed it with water, and they make these flat discs. And then the chocolate chips. I think this is fun. They're not edible. Do you have any guesses or whatever?
They're not edible.
They're not chocolate chips.
They're not chocolate chips, and they're not edible.
I feel like you can get this. If anybody can get this, it's Sarah.
Yeah, this is something... I should. Does the thing that it is already come this color?
I didn't know they made this in this color.
Oh.
But it's something that you have at your house in a color.
Is it erasers?
No, it is hot glue gun glue.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me tell you, hot glue gun glue is used for...
Right.
It's
holding Hollywood together.
It really is. Every single spider web that you see in the Haunted Mansion in every single movie is sprayed out of what essentially is a hot glue gun with air, jet attached to it. Oh, that's so cool! Hot glue.
So
okay.
Every part
makes
of them,
little.
Yeah, she puts the gobs of glue on there.
That makes total sense.
The cookies don't have any oil, fat, or sugar because they would stain Cookie Monster.
Oh.
And I guess that's probably why they're not chocolate chips, too. Because that'd be sugar and fat and all that. And then she said that they're basically like a little dog biscuit, like a little dog treat.
Yeah.
And then it used to be like before she came around, she kind of started this in 2000 or so. But before her, they were using like rice crackers and foam. And the rice crackers would get stuck in Cookie Monster's fur. And the foam...
It's the cutest thing ever. You are right. I do, because I can just see him going...
Right.
And like the cookies going everywhere. And like, I love knowing what it is. I'm so happy.
I know. And like these people, I know I always say people are doing the Lord's work, but this is the Lord's work.
This is really cute.
And then they said that the foam ones didn't look like cookies whenever they got broken apart.
Right. That makes sense.
Not realistic enough.
Right. That totally makes sense.
So then she makes about 24 per episode. It's a lot of cookies.
It really is.
There's a puppeteer whose name I don't remember who is Cookie Monster, and he was saying that like if she makes like a hard batch, he gets like genuinely mad because he says it's like really hard in his hands, and he'll be like, you can't make them like that anymore. Like they get really upset about it. And he says they have to be soft enough that they crumble, and that crumbs equal comedy.
I get that.
The more crumbs, the funnier.
Yeah, that's why they can't have crumbs in outer space.
Because it's funny?
No room for jokes up there.
Yeah, it's serious business.
Serious business in NASA.
Yeah, Sarah.
Wow, what a great story, Susie.
I know, I was so excited.
I'm gonna definitely read that. That just seems so happy and
yeah, she's
so
real cute. And you can see in her kitchen that it's very colorful and just like what you would hope a puppet wrangler's kitchen would look like.
Puppet wrangler. They need to be wrangled.
And she said that one time, like, her landlord came in and, like, was fixing something, and she was, like, baking all these cookies, and she couldn't offer him any. And she was like, he probably thought it was so rude.
That is funny, because that's where I went in my head. I was like, man, she should do, like, regular ones on the side, because how do you have, the nerve bringing 24 cookies in every day, and none of them are edible?
They probably smell good, too.
Yeah, you have to be in cahoots with the craft service people and be like, hey, we got to like make cookies. We're doing a bit. It's the whole thing.
You'll love the article too, because there were videos embedded where there were sketches that they would reference of like, here's what happened. And then like Adam Sandler ate them without knowing, like they were not. So and you can watch it and it's just real cute. So anyway, I love you, Sesame Street. You're the best forever.
That is the cutest thing.
Yeah. My God. Okay. So that is delightful. Here's a fun one. I learned from a friend of mine that there is a company. I'm going to actually pull up their website because I want to tell you all about it. Called Personal Confessor. And this is like a legitimate business.
Okay. She put that in air quotes, so.
Where you can hire this person to like come to your funeral.
What?
And say confessions and like things that you didn't have the nerve to say in real life.
So the dead person hires this. So this like goes into the will. Like,
yeah.
Imagine having something that you're like that is so heavy on your heart.
Yeah. Well, so what do you
have somebody take it over after you die?
Well, that's what makes me wonder. Like when you hear this, what is your mind go to of like what they would want to say?
My mind goes to something that they did like when they were a kid. That remember that there was a story that we talked about on here. You said about a man who was a perpetrator of vehicular homicide or something, and then years later confessed to it after the statute of limitations was out. So my mind goes to stuff like that, where it would be a confession of a crime, you know.
Okay, yeah. I think I was thinking along the lines of like mean or like being like, I never liked you kind of deal.
Oh,
but
really?
I'm
infidelity, or like if it would be like things like your brother is not like really your brother. You know, like that.
Okay, but I think I'm wrong about that because I must be projecting or something. I don't know because I
never liked you anyway.
Yeah, or at least the way that it's framed on the website sounds way nicer. Like maybe you love them and you never could say it because it's like
like the other way, like getting things out. Yeah, because I would imagine whatever the outcome is, the person couldn't do it themselves, but wants to provide some sort of relief for everybody.
Okay.
I don't see it.
There's
as
almost no secret that it's going to provide relief, though. Everything I feel like will add more trouble.
But answer maybe those like a piece of the puzzle or something like that.
Let me tell you a piece of my puzzle, and that's wearing Lumi deodorant. But then I'm going to tell you some hilarious stuff about this business. Okay. So Lumi deodorant is where it's at.
Yeah, I know. Ask Eli. He's converted now.
He's converted.
And by converted, I mean stole my Alpine scent one that's very good.
He's a burglar.
Yes.
But we'll allow it because you can put Lumi deodorant on every part of your body and then you won't stink anymore. And it's a miracle.
Yeah, it really is. This is really, I feel like, going to change this ski season since I am somebody who doesn't frequently wash those items. And they are already smelling better than they did last year this time.
Yeah, because like Sarah always points out, Lumi is somehow this magical science that like something about the product like it attaches to disgusting bacteria and then
they like
neutralize
chomp, eats it away. I don't even know how it works, but it's gone. And like not like when something smells bad and then you're just covering up the smell so that it smells like stinky stuff that's perfumed. That is not this. This is scent go bye-bye.
Yeah, it's actual science. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off Lumi's starter pack with our exclusive code and link. And for a limited time, returning customers can get $5 off their next purchase of $30 or more, too. So use code BrainCandy5 at LumiDeodorant.com, LumiDeodorant.com. Thank you, Lumi, for making this holiday season smell a whole lot better. It's so funny because whenever I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. whenever you watch Shark Tank long enough, there are always these crappy deodorant companies that come on there and are like, we swear it doesn't smell bad. Because, like, that's been the stereotype about natural deodorants forever.
Ever.
So Lumi did it. I don't know how they did it, but they really did. Okay. So what's funny about the personal confessor company, it's probably like one person.
Yeah, for sure.
Business model is they also have a separate part of the business, which is cracking me up. And it is, they will go, it's called private item pickup. So after you die, they go to your house and get your dildos or whatever.
This is a very important
Yeah, this is not
thing.
an ad, but like I kind of feel like personal confessors should franchise because this is smart.
Or like everybody needs to have a friend who's gonna like, and then you need like you need a backup. It needs to be like a phone tree kind of thing where like if this person's around, then it goes to this person, and this person it goes to this person because like you need somebody.
Can you imagine
Susie.
you're dead, right? You're listening right now. You're
Me.
dead, and
Right.
your dad or whatever goes over to your pap goes over to your house and finds all your dildos.
Yeah. No.
That is not what he wants to see in his hour
that.
of morning.
Now, we will say do all the stuff. Enjoy those.
Oh, yeah.
Do
and no
all the
shame,
things.
but like, who wants to handle
nobody
those?
wants to.
Nobody.
Nobody. So yeah, we should have. I'll give you a little diagram of where I'll be like, Susie, this is what you got to do.
Do you think? Because I don't have those items, but like, do you think that there are? What else could be on the list besides like toys?
Porn. So I think
People have like hard copies still. You think?
I think probably some people, not me people, but some people.
Okay,
Susie,
porn?
remember when I found a stash of porn under the hotel bed?
Remember when I found, what was it, Big Trouble in Little Vagina, a DVD here in my own home that the previous owners had left in the basement? And remember I was like, what do you think the Big Trouble was? And you go, the dick. Because I was genuinely like, what could it be? A yeast infection?
I am so funny. Oh my God. I did not remember this.
Yeah.
That is hilarious that you found that. And that
I just was like, yeast infection? And you were like, no.
Susie the dick.
Wiener. Okay.
You must have followed up with, I don't see what the trouble is.
Yeah, right. I don't see the problem.
I don't see the problem.
Okay, so...
Oh my God, this is so funny. Man, I love our podcast. It's like, even on 2 hours of sleep, this is the funniest shit. This is the best.
Maybe more so.
Maybe.
Do you think that there's also maybe... Did you really only get 2 hours?
Yeah, because freaking Eli was snoring all night. He's so sick. I had to go down and sleep on the couch, so I didn't go to bed till like 3:30 or 4. And then I went back and went down and slept on the couch. And then I woke up at about 6. And then by then it was like time to go to the grocery store. Our house was empty of food. Like, I just
my God.
started the day.
I'm so sorry. Well, I'm glad we could be here for you.
Yeah.
Do you think what besides X-rated stuff though? Because I really want to try to.
Drugs.
Oh. Drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, what do we got? Got to clean out the sex, drugs, rock and roll. Just get rid of anything that would be illegal.
Oh, okay. I guess I was thinking like maybe people were like keeping things from their spouse or something.
This feels more drug. This feels more
drugs make sense. Okay, drugs.
This is like, oh yeah, go get that.
Okay.
Box of shit.
One other thing I thought was super funny about it was that they have a whatever
you're gonna say, I already love.
Well, okay, they have a referral program, and I just feel like the only people that could really testify to whether or not you do a good job.
This is fair.
Are no longer in a position.
Right. I don't know if we're really like accurately polling the people who have used the service. Right.
Well, because like, let's say you bought. I guess they should just mean tell a friend or something, because it's like, I bought this thing
Rate your service 1 out of 10. Kind of hard to do from beyond the grave.
Like, I think they should just say, hey, if you sign up, tell a friend that we offer this rather than a referral.
Right.
Because a referral is like, I love my dentist, so would you.
Right.
I don't even know if this guy does what he says he's going to do because I'll be dead.
You'll be dead. This is very accurate.
He
this
probably
is more
just takes
like,
the money and runs.
I mean...
And it's like, joke's on them.
This is
They're
really
dead.
on the honor system.
It's the honor system.
This is the ultimate honor, but then, like, don't fuck with the dead, so...
Well, that's true, because maybe it would be like, I would tell you, like, hey, Sarah, I hired this guy to sort this out. If he doesn't do it, sue his ass or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some holes in this business model.
If you do need me to get something for you, though, just tell me.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good. I think everybody knows, like, if somebody does find my weed, I'm like, enjoy that shit. And everything else that you find, I talk about on the podcast, so...
Well, and like your partner could dispose or whatever.
Yeah. What are they going to find? Nothing. It's like...
All right. I love that story, though.
Yeah.
Is it not hilarious? Personalconfessor.com if you want to check it out. It's hilarious to me.
That's really funny. Good job securing that website. That feels like...
Yes. Yeah. Somebody just randomly, my friend on Instagram was talking about it, and I was like, that is hilarious. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what's not hilarious, and that's how much I love Green Chef. And the reason is because it's delicious. It makes my life better. It taught me a lot about cooking.
This is my go-to this holiday season because I'm trying to maximize the amount of days that I can spend snowboarding. And here is how I need to do that. Not wasting time prepping food, planning food. When I get home, I'm way too tired. So we get the 4-person for just the 2 of us, 4-person. Yeah. We can stay really healthy with what we're eating that fuels our body. We get the protein-packed one or the Mediterranean diet one. Mm-hmm. Freaking love that.
That's a nice one.
All organic. It's very low waste. Like, no, everything is, like, now all of the stuff is, like, compostable, recyclable.
Yeah, all of the stuff is, handle. It's like delivery. They offset the delivery emissions and any of the plastics from the
You can
delivery.
feel good about it.
Yeah. And they have a deal, which is my favorite part. For our listeners, go to greenchef.com/60braincandy and use code 60braincandy to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. That's greenchef.com/60braincandy and use code 60braincandy to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. It's so busy. That's the last thing people want to worry about.
No, right. And I made it for lunch, made it for dinner, pack it in the car the next day and I have it as soon as I'm off the mountain, sitting in the parking lot, and I'm so hungry. And then I don't have to spend $26 on freaking chicken tenders that aren't even that good on the mountain.
No, it's not worth it.
Right. The end.
Over the Thanksgiving holiday, it was the 60th anniversary of the assassination of JFK.
Oh, wow.
And anytime there's an anniversary, but especially those decade ones, like it's like all anyone wants to talk about. So I watched this Hulu documentary called I think it's called A Day in America, JFK. Mm-hmm. I think they have a 9/11 one too. Mm-hmm. And I thought, what could they tell me that I don't already know? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was kind of my thought. I was like, okay, what are we doing?
Again.
Right. I was thinking the exact same thing as soon as you started talking about this. Okay.
Well, and because also it was like I just didn't want to figure out what to watch. It was like, here, push play. One of those.
Yeah.
And I was so glad I watched it. And I told my sister the same thing. And then she watched it and she's like, good recommendation. You were right. It was new and fresh. And it was like footage I hadn't seen and a point of view I hadn't heard. It was very moving.
Wow.
And I did not expect that. It was all the people that were still alive that were right there. So Secret Service guys, and journalists and people that were there. And they are old as heck.
Right.
As you
I
can
imagine. They're like 85, 90 years old if you were in your 20s or 30s.
And I think part of why it was so moving was that it's raw to them still.
Wow.
Like, it's still like I think they have a sense that day was a turning point in American history. Wow. That like from then on, you can kind of see the thread of even, you know how right now running for office is RFK Jr., Robert Kennedy. Is it F? R, whatever his name is. Robert something Kennedy Jr.
Franklin Kennedy? Robert?
I think it is F. But anyway, Cheryl Hines' husband from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
She's married to Robert Kennedy, and his dad was Robert Kennedy Sr., and he was shot by Sirhan Sirhan and died. And that set him on a path, which we now see materializing in his anti-vax point of view. He's very much in line with like a conspiratorial worldview that really comes from watching these men be shot and feeling like he wasn't getting the full story.
Well, absolutely. Wow. Interesting.
And I think he's right in that sense. I don't think we did get the full story. And regardless of what the true full story is, there was a context provided in the documentary that I had never heard, which was that, do you remember how, Jackie had 2 kids, Caroline and John, and then she had a 3rd baby while they were in the White House, and it died after it was born.
I did not know that. And
she, of course, was grieving.
Oh, my God.
And that's horrific.
Her husband died?
Right. And that day was like her first day out.
Oh, my God. Commit me.
I know.
I would have been committed. Forget it. I'm never coming outside again.
How do you recover from that?
I'm fucking agoraphobic for life.
Because even if that hadn't happened, to see what she saw in its visceral sort of bodily nightmare, but then to have been on the heels of that kind of loss is like inconceivable.
It is inconceivable. That actually is.
And not only that, but the picture that we've all seen of Lyndon B. Johnson swearing in on the plane. Can you picture it? Where he's being sworn in and Jackie's next to him with the pillbox hat and the suit. It's in black and white usually when you see it. But she's still wearing the dress that she was wearing when he was shot. And his wife, Lady Bird, had said to her, like, did you want to change? And she said, no, let them see what they've done. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I want to look at that right now.
It's just imagine what she must have felt in that moment. He is dead. He was there a minute ago. And they are swearing in a new president on Air Force One.
Oh, blood still on her shirt. Oh my God.
It's horrific.
Oh my God.
It was intense, man. And like, the other thing is that what I was struck by is seeing these Secret Service men and them telling the story of Lyndon B. Johnson and Lady Bird and Jackie and the intense sense of duty that they felt for something bigger than themselves, for the country, and the feeling that like this country is worth putting aside like incredible pain. Right? Yeah. Poor Sarah. She's like, I haven't slept.
No.
What are you doing?
I just imagine like just all of that it's too much. And you could just see she looks almost like numb.
Like photo. What just fucking happened?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And what I don't know if this was intentional, but what I noticed was that a lot of the footage is in black and white, but a lot of the Jackie and John together footage is in color. And it's very much like that Wizard of Oz thing about like the hope is in color and like the shit is in black and white. And I don't know if you're familiar with LBJ, but you couldn't. Okay, you know when someone lights up a room?
Yeah.
He's the opposite.
Okay.
It's like whatever the opposite of charisma is, that's what LBJ is. And so afterwards, like, he had to give like a little speech, like on the tarmac, and he's like, I will do my best. It's like Dopey Dog.
Oh,
you know, like Droopy Dog or whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
Like, I will do my very best to. Yeah. And it's like, we just lost JFK.
That is not what you need right now. Right. Oh, God.
It is weird, though, how, like, Rob Reiner just put out this podcast about it. Rob Reiner, of all people, like, you know, All in the Family Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Like, about how he believes he has evidence of, like, how there were 4 shooters and he knows who they are. You know, it's...
What?
Yeah.
Rob Reiner did that?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I mean, maybe, but it just feels like... I guess what I want to ask you is, what do you think it is? Whether he knows who did it or whatever. People have been speculating and really fascinated by this for a long time. Do you think it's that thing where people just feel like they don't have the full story and they need it? Okay. Yeah.
I do.
They can't rest because like everything changed after that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would recommend it. It's not a lighthearted situation though. So you got to be in the mood for something dark.
I wonder how things like January 6th are even going to get discussed 40, 50 years from now in the conspiracy theories that will come out when all of us were like, no, a bunch of dummies.
Oh, you know, that was what was weird. My family's so weird. And so like my brother comes for Thanksgiving and the first thing he said when he got in from his drive was, so Mom, where were you when JFK was shot? Like, this is how we communicate. It's just like, I read this article and I said, Mom, did you vote for him? And she was like, I don't remember, but I would now. And that shocked me because he was a Democrat. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to figure out why she felt that way. And I think it might be that QAnon thing about JFK Jr. You know how there's the QAnon belief that he's still alive, JFK Jr.? And they consistently think he's going to show up at rallies.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. See, there's all the cuckoo craziness. People are going to like...
And there's like a guy specifically that they say it is, and he is not attractive. And I don't know how they're connecting the dots on that because JFK was a hunk.
Yeah.
And so I would like to know what happened to him.
Oh, no.
If that's him. But any hoodles. Yeah, I don't know. I got to ask Peg a follow up on that. Like, why? Because he's a Democrat. Like, what is it about his message that would appeal to her? I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe we should cold call her one of these days just for a laugh.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
I'll tell you what's not funny, and that is wasting your money. And that's why I love Chime Bank, because thanks to their fee-free overdraft situation, you're not going to be wasting that money. Up to $200.
We're updating the bank thing.
Yeah, please.
It's been too long.
Your bank sucks.
Yeah. And they've definitely done bad things.
Yeah, right. And so get a fresh start.
I'm looking at you, big banks.
Yeah, we're looking at you. You can get paid up to 2 days earlier. There's the fee-free overdraft with SpotMe. You can ditch that monthly fee situation. No monthly fees, no minimum balance, all that jazz. Sign up for Chime today. Joining takes just minutes. Get started at chime.com/braincandy. That's chime.com/braincandy. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Early access to direct deposit funds depends on pay or out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply.
That's like a good New Year's kind of resolution. Get finances in order and, adjust who's taking your money and where you put your money.
You said it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good time of year to do that. Mm-hmm. All right, so moving on because that was a downer, but I do recommend it.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to check that out.
Yeah.
Not today. We need laughs today.
Yeah, not today. I also read a really great New York Times piece on Flo from Progressive Insurance.
Okay.
I mean, they're killing it. Cookie Monster, Flo from Progressive. I'm like, this is the news funny. I want.
Yeah.
It's a lot lighter than the other news I'm getting, so I'm welcoming it. But it was actually a really well-written and also very entertaining piece. And, it provided some of the backdrop of, how she came to be. She started in 2008, and they wanted to change their message from, insurance
Wow, almost 20 years Flo's been in the game.
Right?
When you think about that, that is 1/3 how long it has been since JFK was shot.
Right. Literally nobody has thought of that.
Literally
ever
no one.
Right now.
But when you put that in, I don't know, time is weird, man.
Yeah. She's hung in there. And I think the sort of subtext of the article is if you were an actress and you got that role, what you would be sacrificing to stay.
Any other job, you're a character actor, and Flo you will never have another name.
Yeah.
You're essentially like Screech, but from Saved by the Bell, but
without the character depth. Right? At least we know his full name.
Do we?
Screech Samuel Powers. Yes, we do. And Dustin Diamond.
My instinct was like Screech McDuck. I was like, no, that's Scrooge McDuck. And that's something different.
Yeah.
Susie.
So, it's really just you're getting money. And so they were estimating, we don't know for sure, but she probably makes about $10 million a year.
I will be that. What do you want? I will sell.
Art Smart.
I will sell your insurance. I have a deal for you. What do you want? 10 mil? 10 mil to be Flo? You call me whatever the fuck you want.
Okay, so
call me on my $10 million phone.
And I feel like everybody would make that choice that
duh.
It's worth it. But I think there would be some in the back of your mind, because here's what it did.
To do other things. Philanthropy.
It showed how she grew up in the groundlings in LA.
Oh, yeah.
And that all of her peers are auditioning for SNL, getting to be on SNL. And then SNL eventually was like, quit sending her tape to us. We're not interested. And she's
Flo was like,
she was an SNL reject. But she's making $10 million a year, and we don't know a lot of the cast members' names from SNL. You think you do, but there's a lot of fly-by-night ones.
This is fascinating.
It is. And Katie Weaver is the journalist who did it, and she never disappoints. She's very funny. I don't know how the New York Times hired her because she's almost too irreverent for the New York Times, but I love it. Yeah. And the summary at the end was brilliant. So they're giving the sort of history of insurance and how they wanted to change it from something you had to have to something that you got to shop for. That was why they hired her. And then at the end of the article, it's wrapping up how she didn't get to be on SNL or be famous really as herself. She's just Flo. Mm-hmm. And it said, forfeiting one thing for the promise of something else later is a sophisticated human idea. Our understanding of this concept enables us to sell one another insurance, because that's what insurance is.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
And I was like, Katie Weaver, you did it again. Because I think the message of the article was how good life can be if you don't get what you want.
Oh, well, yeah, you have to adjust expectations.
Mm-hmm. And that sometimes getting fired, you often hear this from people. It's
and this is gratitude. Yeah, this is a lesson in gratitude. And what are you looking at? You're looking at the shit that you're stepping in or the ice cream cone in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought, wow. I mean, if you can make that out of Flo from Progressive, tip of the hat.
I want to read that article too. That sounds really, really good. These are good material.
Do you think that they're like stepping up their game because like it's either that or like Hamas?
Yes.
Okay, because I really appreciate the work that they're doing because, you know, if you are up to speed on current events, it can be really sad. Yeah. So it's nice when you hear important stuff, but in a way that's like, oh,
I want to read about Cookie Monster cookies. Adorable.
Do you think, because she was in the Groundlings with Kristen Wiig.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And Kristen's amazing. I think she's one of the best there ever was.
Yeah, agreed.
So I can't imagine that she thinks like, I could have done that. Mm-hmm. But Kristen Wiig was quoted as saying that Flo, whose real name is Stephanie, is the funniest person that she ever met.
Wow!
Do you think that would make it worse or better? Or you'd be like, I'm fucking the funniest person Kristen Wiig ever met, and I didn't get on SNL.
It could feel, Susie, think about how we feel about people from the challenge.
Yeah, I'm like, why do we love this article so much? Right, why is this relatable AF?
I mean, it makes perfect sense for us. Yeah, so.
Mm-hmm. But she has like more money than us.
Yeah, like so much more. So make sure you like and subscribe and leave a 5-star review.
Yes. And Sarah.
Yes.
We have an exciting situation brewing.
It is the most exciting thing. It's amazing. I was as cool, calm, and collected as I was.
We had an interview with our BFF who doesn't know she is our BFF.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll be cool. Don't worry. I'll try.
You
I was
together.
So cool. I was.
Tell them who we talked to.
We talked to the one and only legendary comedian with a brand new Netflix special out, Beth Stelling.
Oh.
Woo!
Yes. 3 cheers. Her Netflix special, I think, is called If You Didn't Love Me Then.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you didn't like me then.
If you didn't like me. Wait, I got to get it right.
Love me, like me. Yeah.
Beth Stelling. If you didn't want me then.
Want me then.
Yeah. If you didn't want me then. And we both became familiar with her at the same time.
Yes.
When she had that clip that went viral about like a rape.
Yes, the best.
When she said rape with like a pirate because it's or is that a pirate?
Like with a Scottish accent.
Yeah, Scottish.
She goes, I find if you say it with a Scottish accent, makes people less put off by it. It's funnier that way, and it is.
It is, and it was also like if you can make rape funny. Amazing.
Yeah. We've referenced her so many times because we say like anything is funny if it's funny, and that is funny. How she talks about things that are difficult topics, things that are emotional topics.
Yeah, like heavy.
Yeah. And
but
in a way
doesn't
that's
feel like that.
No, it makes it normal and normalized and approachable and relatable and also like empowering at the same time. So basically she's our hero and
she's awesome. And she was a doll, and so just fun to talk to, and it just felt real comfortable. She's just a real treasure. And
she's going places. Uses Waterpik.
Yeah. She does. Sarah and Beth are, kindred spirits, I think. Mm-hmm. Not just about the Waterpiks, also the overalls and just general temperament.
Yeah.
It was a treat to talk to her, and she's on tour, so she's probably coming to your city, but she's coming to Pittsburgh, she's coming to Denver, and we want to fill those theaters because what's better than a funny woman who is smart?
I will be there every night.
Yeah. So if she's coming to your town, you got to see her. Welcome to the show, Beth Stelling, our new BFF. I find you real fascinating because you're mysterious, because in some ways you're very candid and you disclose things, right? That are typically private. But then in other ways, mom's the word. You don't share everything. What's up with that? That'll be every end of every question. What's up with that?
That's an interesting observation. I appreciate it. Don't you appreciate when people reflect back to you if you have no idea what you are? Like,
yes,
even early days of, sometimes you don't know what's on your face, or if somebody tells you, or, so early days of stand-up, even I remember people say, well, what do you do? What do you do? I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what my thing is. So I guess to answer your question, why am I, what was the question after? I'm sometimes mysterious and sometimes I am very forthcoming.
I guess I want to know if it's intentional and sort of strategic, or whether it's random.
I think it's by nature of the art form I chose, right? Because, I guess we'll just dive in right away. I'm trying to think of a joke that I've told and then what's really behind it. So I've been able to make very dark things funny because I suppose that's my way of dealing with it and figuring it out. And your frustration becomes your fascination, so you can obsess and try to gain power over it by making people laugh or making it funny to other people, or funny for other people who've also lived it, so they can delight in the power you've created for yourselves. So I think if I had to give an example, of course, a dark one comes to mind, but along the lines of like, I'm seeing a new guy. This is the joke. I'm seeing a new guy. He used to live with his ex-girlfriend, and all of her stuff is still in the apartment. Like her boxes of her bras and underwear, her shampoo is still in the shower. So I know everything about her, from her hair conditioning routine to her cup size. And all she knows is why I should dump this guy. So it's like, that is a joke, but what later came to light was something awful. Like, she fled. That's why all of her stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's sort of like I'm making a joke out of it, but eventually if I gave you the real story behind it, it is sometimes too sad. So you do sort of scrape the surface with stand up, although I've taken it to pretty dark levels, I suppose. Particularly in my HBO special from 2020. But that took me a long time to figure out. I used the R word in it, and it even took me a long time to figure out how to say that, on stage. People don't like hearing it. So I had to find all kinds of ways and devices to even get to being in that realm or that topic, that subject. So, and then another thing I would be is after having gotten out of a abusive relationship, I ended up going to this healing trauma program, and it also is in my family. My early stages of my life involved also partner abuse, and I was dealing with, in my group therapy session, my therapist, she was all right. I mean, I liked her in the sense that, like, she challenged me, and I would often use humor. And
they hate that. It's
appreciate it. She didn't appreciate it because she was just, trying to see through it, and was sort of like, this is a coping mechanism. I actually don't have time for it. We've got a week.
I'm book solid over here.
Yeah, I'm book solid. I'm going to need you to get on board.
That's hilarious. I got to work on that as a therapist.
Yeah. So, and I was talking about some abusive aspects of my relationship on stage, and my hands would shake, and I would I would kind of go like this and trap my hand like this.
Yeah.
In a way. And another comic actually pointed out, like, two things. I remember exactly here. Two things. One was like, maybe you're not ready to talk about it. And the other thing was, you're probably like protecting your heart while you're talking. And so I'm like, then that therapist, as I was like, why? I'm having trouble talking about it. And she's like, well, would you just share your mom's story on stage? And I'm like, no. She's like, well, then why yours? Why? So it's sort of like, I mean, I'm talking a lot right now, but it's such a wide topic and reasons for why I am the way I am, which is, even in stand-up, there's no audition, there's no HR, there's no anything. You just show up. Anybody can show up. And it's yes, I can do that. And yes, I'll do that for free. And oh my gosh, I'm so honored that you allowed me to do stand-up in this basement. So it's sort of like, it's also like, let me give you everything instead of like, that actually doesn't work for me, or I don't feel safe here, or I don't actually care what a room full of dudes in their 20s think in Chicago. Yeah. So it's sort of like, yes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to give you everything. And I do enjoy being forthcoming and vulnerable. And that's how I like to connect with people. And I really pride myself on being authentic as well. But that obviously comes at a cost. It can come at a cost. So I do need to take breaks. And even like, I'm having so much fun with my new, I'm going to shut up here in a second.
I don't want you to ever stop. This is my favorite interview
We're in
ever.
her cult now.
I'm on the road now working a new hour. Just had a special come out on Netflix. It's called If You Didn't Want Me Then, which is, what I've been getting, promoting, but also now I'm on the road with a whole new hour. And I'm having so much fun. And it's interesting how I continue to change as a comic. This hour is like oddly more physical when I'm usually typically a little more subdued with sort of bursts of action. Again, not like a choice. I don't like plan it in my room and like, and now I do this. It's sort of like just whatever comes out of you. But I want to say it was, I guess in Portland a couple weeks ago, I was at Helium, which is a great club. And when you're where I am as a headlining comic who does comedy clubs around the country versus like theaters or one-nighters, sometimes I do those, but point being, I'm a club comic. So I do 5 shows in a weekend, Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. And it is taxing. And, I'm holding people's attention for an hour in 2023 with just talking. It's wild, difficult. I've gotten good at it over the last 16 years, but it's like, I am those things that I just mentioned that I strive to be. And it's almost like there's always probably going to be one show that's not your favorite of 5 in the weekend. And it is a little maddening to do 2 shows a night where you go, did I already say this? Or why is this crowd different? I mean, I always say that, stand up is very, very, there's so many variables that can change it, can change how people receive you, you build an act because something works quite often. So it's like, that stays. But then some things will drop and you're like, why didn't they like that? I can't figure it out. Maybe somebody was ordering a drink. Maybe someone passed out. This person shit their pants, or they called their parents or got a text or whatever. So there's so many things that can happen. And yet you're doing the same thing to different results. So why wouldn't we all be absolute psychopaths? It drives you crazy to be like, I just did this. And so this is the 2 thing, and then I really am going to shut up. One being, by that late show Saturday, I can tell right away if it's going to be not what I am hoping for or what the other ones were. It was like too good. It was like Thursday, 2 Friday. It was so great. 4 shows great. Last show, let's do this. The minute I come out, the first words out of my mouth, I have to blame myself a little. I kind of messed around up top and wasn't being funny yet. But it's like, the minute I did say the joke, they were like, and I'm like, oh no, we're in trouble. You don't get me. We're actually F, And so I can keep trying and I can keep trying. But because I care and what I'm giving you is myself, I don't ever want to turn on the crowd, get angry. You've seen that happen. We're like, fuck you guys. This is funny. You don't get it. It's like, you don't want to be that. But it's like, I can only give a child so many gifts if they go, next. You know what I mean? Like, I can only give you so much to just keep having you throw it away. So I'll meet you as far as I can meet you. But I'm actually, I finished that show early. Not that much early. I did my contractually obligated amount of time. But I was like, I can't keep giving you because you don't. And it sounds like maybe pretentious, like you don't appreciate me. But it's like, you're not meeting me here. You're not having fun. Like, I don't want to. And then afterwards you'll have I can sometimes be delusional. And people are like, we love you. That was awesome. Like, you felt bad. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's because the crowd before was having the time of their lives.
Yeah. Or you get one loud laugher.
Which makes me have the time of my life, which makes me feel safe and have fun, which makes me play. It's like my state of play if you show up to have fun. So anyway, and the last little part of that is my mom came to visit years ago and I did a show in the main room at the Improv. And then I had a set in the lab, which is a smaller room, same venue. And I did great in the, great set in the main room, come into the lab to do this, nothing. To the point where I looked at my mom who's sitting in the bar. I go, Mom, as I'm on stage, I go, did this not just do well moments ago in the other room?
That must have been validating.
She goes, We had fun in the other room.
Right. You had a witness to the weirdness.
That's what's actually fun sometimes when a friend comes on the road with me or a lover or something, if you actually feel safe around them to have you witness you do that 5 times.
That's vulnerable. Yeah.
Then they can see what you're going through, and it's kind of wild. They're usually fascinated with the entire experience.
It does feel unnatural to have your job performance be continuously evaluated verbally. Like you could audibly hear whether you're doing a satisfactory job to this blob of human beings.
And it's a beautiful thing to have instant gratification, but now pretty much everybody has it. You can go online and have people heart, you know, in an Instagram live or in a photo or whatever. You get that immediate. So everybody is getting that immediate. That was the allure of stand-up at one point in time versus me working on a script forever and then turning it in and being, what do you think? You know?
Yeah, waiting.
Yeah, or what I started as, like in theater, which is auditioning, rehearsing with people you don't really know, getting to know them. Maybe it's a play you don't even care about or like, and then you perform it for 6 weeks for $200, you know, or whatever.
What's not to love?
Yeah, exactly. That's when that is when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do stand up because I don't have to rehearse with anybody. I can just do it myself. And
is that instant. Is that kind of the path, their path there? Theater, comedy, writing?
Yeah. I think early days, like I wanted to do like SNL and I had dreams of that. It's sometimes hard for me to suss out whether I squashed that because there's so many things I temper or I tamp down to just be able to keep going in a way. Like, you know, nothing's real until it's like there and in front of your face or on the TV. Like, so, but theater wise, I did have a love of theater and that was my initial, you know, joy in performing. I mean, I was like the youngest of 3 girls, which is like quite often typical of comics being the youngest of the family. The little audience. You pop out to an audience. And then my sisters did theater and dance and stuff. And my mom's a pianist. And so it was kind of like, you know, it wasn't ever discouraged for me to be a performer or like, oh, but how are you going to make a living? You know, it was just sort of like, my mom was always like, you were born to perform. I have it. Oh yeah. My mom's handwriting.
Oh my gosh.
My sister and I got it together when I was like 22.
Born for it? That's what it says?
Yeah. It says born for this. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Man.
She would always write that on my little whiteboard. I had a whiteboard on the front of my bedroom door when I was little. Did you guys have that? Look, I can't stop. I can't stop.
Me neither.
Oh my God. That's adorable.
Wow. She would always write, you were born to perform, like before I would do speech and debate or like, you know, any sort of performance thing.
She sounds like a good encourager.
Yeah.
Do you ever regret disclosure at all or being candid, almost like casting your pearls to swine sometimes?
100%. Yeah. I mean, like in the grandest scheme of it all, like, I guess like, you know, there's self-preservation, there's being extremely online. I don't know how people do that. I mean, they often can make, you guys have been in this realm before, how much you want to share. Your lives are on TV and you're just being you. Or I don't know how you guys went into it. I assume when you were so young doing it, you were just being you.
Yeah.
Like you had that drive to like, whatever it was, go on an adventure or be on TV, or it was like a really cool thing to do when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying it's not cool anymore, but like we're drowning in reality.
Yeah. Right. They know what they're getting into now.
Would you like submit your
like VHS?
Yeah,
my
exactly. I feel like I probably remember your guys' tapes because they used to play them.
Yeah.
It's like when they played the SNL auditions. Well, she's like, hi, I'm Susie. You know, here's what I'm about.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get hired to be yourself. And then you think, well, then that's a legitimate career to get money to be myself, which is ridiculous. And then podcasting happened.
Yeah. So it kind of all did shake out.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It did shake out quite well. But yeah, so
not normal.
Yeah, you can relate to that. And the good thing for you guys, and even for me, early days, right? Like stand up early days, I could show up in pajamas and there weren't photographers. Yeah. And I would be in Chicago looking like I would just ride my bike there and do comedy. And now
awesome.
It's a damn photo shoot every show. And it's like that it's difficult because it's like, okay, well, we're so, everything's a reflective surface in our world of social media. And so sometimes it's like, I don't know, it's just a whole different mindset. Like I'm going to a show, which also means I'm going to get my photograph taken, which also means like sometimes I just do not feel like being perceived. And if I could just show up to the show and do comedy and know there were no photos, I'd probably do more shows. I mean, it's not because I hate myself. I love my body. I'm embracing my aging process. Like I just am like, I don't want to field questions about my mental health if this gets posted online because I'm not wearing makeup.
Yeah, because you have to choose. It's like you have to all of a sudden have hot hobbies if you're going to be like judged by that. You can't just go up there and make comedy.
Yeah,
the hobby.
I mean, even us. Like, if I should have just asked you if we were keeping this because I would have just been on time. But instead, I was like, you can't even tell. I just put on a little.
Well, but it's that is actually one of my questions, though, is about your teeth because they're so amazing. I'm like, did she get orthodontia? What happened? They're so beautiful. If I had your situation, I wouldn't even have a makeup bag going on.
You both are gorgeous.
Like,
people.
what's your secret?
For real, I've never had orthodontia.
What?
No, you guys, this is a fake tooth right here.
Get out of town.
Wait.
She's not sure what she
other side.
It's really gross too. Have you ever had an implant?
No. Well,
it's
not in my teeth.
I want to know more about those. Yeah, this is a fake tooth up here. It's wild. I got it.
Where did the old one go?
Okay, so I guess long story short, I've always had bad teeth. My first visit to the dentist, I had 6 cavities as a child.
Wow.
I think I still took it as fact, but I remember my dentist, who was all of our dentists, me and my sisters, and the father of one of my sister's like 6th grade boyfriends, Dr. Patton, was like, "You're the youngest. You were born with the least enamel." And I still don't know if that was a bit.
My dentist told my little brother the same thing. I don't know.
Okay, so it's not a bit.
Your sister took up all the enamel. I have never had a cavity. My brother had like tons when he went in. The dentist said
it might be real.
It could be real, or our dentists just all just.
I'm gonna write this down.
Our baron of enamel. We made our mom baron of enamel. I'm like, anyway. So this tooth was like, I've always had issues in the back ones, and I love candy. I love. I'm better now, but like I was just a little candy hound. And also I sucked my thumb. So that's kind of interesting too.
Same.
That these didn't do anything wild. I mean, here's another thing. I've learned to smile like this. I used to smile like full teeth. So this is what they really look like. I used to smile like that. And now I'm like, I cover them. You know what I mean? Not because they're like, they're not bad.
Why did you change? Did you get feedback about it?
I mean, I look like a werewolf. Yeah. I mean, I look like the Beast in Beauty and the Beast when he's like,
I totally know the scene you're talking about.
It's like such a little girl smile to be like, I'm happy.
But they're so pretty. So show them off.
So I do brush them. I floss. I have a water
Sarah
pick.
just got a water pick she won't shut up about.
I'm getting it for an implant. You would need it. But the water pick is amazing. The implant is disgusting. Okay, so how do we describe it? It's sort of, this started to bother me a little before I went and worked on Good Boys, that movie up in Vancouver, which is where it was shot. And I went to the dentist. He scared the crap out of me. I was like, this is going to be a huge problem. And it might hit you like out of nowhere. And I was like, he's like, but I can't do it. I don't have time. He was some sort of endodontist or something. So then I'm like, crap, I'm going to have to find something. He found somebody in Vancouver for me. The set PA took me to my appointment. They pulled the tooth, which, by the way, I was like local anesthetic, like pills, I think. So I couldn't feel, and then they numbed it. So I woke up, like I didn't feel anything. I woke up to her like her knee up on my, I'm gonna fall. Her knee was like up on the chair like this, and she was going, and I woke up like this, like that. And I looked up and she's like looking down on me, and she's like, this one's just a little bit tough, like that. And I was like, oh my God. But I didn't feel anything. And then the set PA, Alyssa, was great. And she picked me up and took me to where they put us up in like apartments. And I must have, this is a perfect example actually of power structure on set, which is, I said, let's go get donuts. And she listened to me. Yeah, I shouldn't have been eating. You know what I mean? God. I shouldn't have been eating anything. They said, don't eat anything and don't sleep on this side. I ate 3 donuts and I fell asleep on that side. I woke up in a bloodbath. My pillows were covered in blood. And I was like,
Alyssa, why did you let this happen?
I know, but it just goes to show, like when people were like, I didn't pressure her to do anything. It's like, you're the boss. You know what I mean? Like what you say, they're going to listen to you. Yeah. So anyway, mine's a benign example of donuts, but anyway, I've taken us on a tangent. You keep asking wonderful questions, and then I started talking about my teeth. But oh no, you did bring that up. Okay,
wait.
But
in all fairness, she did.
Okay, so they pull this out. Then they do a bone graft of cow bones, bovine.
Stop.
Pack it in there, right? Mm-hmm. But then you just have no freaking tooth for a while. So there's a couple old photos where I'm smiling real big, and there's just a hole right there. If you look real close, you can see it. You have to wait for that to take.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, you get it. It would be like putting a telephone pole in wet cement.
Yeah.
You know? So you have to like wait for this to harden. Then they drill, which by the way, they drilled up into my sinus I don't know if it was on accident or whatever.
Oh my God.
This was back in LA now because that shoot was only like 3 months or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, drilled up into there. That was weird. And there's a lot of pressure like right here for a while. And then screw on the implant. But then the issue with the implant is like you have your tooth, it's screwed into the top like this, but then there's kind of like you have to go up and over with your floss. Like, so here's the bottom of your tooth, here's your gum, and it's screwed in right here. So you almost have to like go like this, floss. You know what I mean? Stuff gets stuck in there. So I'm blowing all kinds of stuff out with the water pick. It's disgusting. It's like
I'm telling you, Sue, it's going to be life-changing.
I know. I got to get one.
Yeah, and you don't even have an implant there.
Right there. Right
yeah, there.
Right.
Okay, but anyway, I have regret divulging things for sure. Absolutely.
Not so much for dental care, but...
No, that doesn't matter.
Why? Why do you feel like it wasn't honored, what you shared?
No. I just think like it's tough. It's tough because you're putting yourself out there. You know, when your window's open, it's a beautiful thing. A bird could come sit and fly there and sing to you, or someone could throw a dirty diaper through it, you know?
And they do,
Yeah. So it's like, close your window. So you never hear the birds again, or whatever the hell you want, or risk another diaper. So I think, you know, when you're putting yourself out there in a vulnerable way and thinking like your perspective on it, and then it just gets thrown back at you, you're like, oh gosh, I wish I never said anything at all.
I bet you a lot of people appreciate that you shared stuff though.
I have to basically take solace in that, and that you can't live in regret. I did what I did, you know? And my intention too, like particularly like what I share on stage or even just privately online. I was really kind of, not privately, like publicly about my private life. Because I had been so forthcoming up to that point about stand-up, it felt like the metaphor I use is like, I've got a megaphone in my hand, and if you pinch my butt, everybody's going to hear the squeal. So it's sort of like, I'm used to being like, he hurt me. did everybody see that? Don't let him hurt you. You know, and then it's like, oh, you ruined a man's life. You know, I would love to see, like, I don't know. It's just, for the most part, I agree with you. You can't go back. You can't regret. And it certainly did help people, and it probably saved people from future.
It did. Abuse. And when I talked about the R word and how you joked about it, I'll cry right now. I'm going to cry. That's just how it's going to go.
I do the same thing. I also go, I'm about to cry.
Yeah, it's just like that. I'm about, just so you know. And I talked about it on our show, and I was like, it is so important to be able to make jokes like that make it okay. And like you said, like allows us to like take back power in that way. And it gave like, I use it as a therapist when I'm talking to people about it. Like it is so helpful and very impactful for me.
And funny.
And hilarious. Also. That's like also the most important, the funny. And, you know, I know at least like for the little bit of disclosure that, well, a lot of disclosure we do on here, but, you know, the ways we kind of can often make it into comedy or make light of it. Sometimes I found it hard to then try to have those same kind of conversations seriously with people because you've already turned it into a joke or made like, you know, sometimes I felt for myself, I almost like regress a little bit where this thing that I was totally open about and was able to talk about, then it became like too open and talk about it free.
Oh, yeah.
Then I have to like reel it back in and it becomes like my private thing all over again. But people don't like that because they're like, what the hell? You were open about this before. Why not now?
Right.
So
well, it's this yucky feeling of who knows what about me. And it's like, yes, I did share it, but sometimes it's like, who knows what? It's an interesting feeling. And then what you expressed too, which is like, we think once we've dealt with it and gone to therapy about it or made a joke or moved on, it's done. And it's not done. It's just like an ongoing thing. I mean, even partner choice and stuff, it has to remain an active discipline. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll kind of go back to what you're attracted to or be pulled towards people who are scratching that itch for you or whatever. You're just like a magnet, you know, being hurled towards a fridge, being told not to stick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just like an ongoing thing where you go, it's not like, oh, I thought I healed from that. It's like, no, because I can be driving and a memory will come to me or whatever. Somebody says something. And it's also too, it's like, who is allowed to say what? You know, and if it's somebody who you don't feel like you're respected by or somebody who's like, well, I know that thing about you. Like, well, okay, yes, I did. You know, it's kind of in that realm of, I'm pulling something out of my butt. Cindy Crawford was mean to me at that cafe I saw her at. It's like, well, maybe she was like going through a hard day. Well, she's famous. That's what she wanted. It's like,
right.
I don't know if that's what she wanted, you know, like, well, that's what she gets.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like odd to navigate it in different groups of people, different realms and stuff like that, because people are like, well, you shared it. Now it's mine.
Fine. Right.
When we've been noticing, like with other people from the show that we've been on the challenge, how it becomes almost automatic that when you've been incentivized to share openly, and it's been commodified sometimes by you and sometimes by other people, that then you see that as your value. So they just share automatically because they think that that's their only value is disclosure. And it feels so troubling. Sometimes Sarah and I will be like, we need to reach out to this person. They don't have to tell everything. They don't have to.
Right.
Just
you can say no.
Yeah.
You can set a boundary. Yeah. Some stuff's just for you. Even like I remember just like speaking of the photos at a show, if a photographer's like, can we get your portraits? You know, this is just me doing a random show in LA. And this sounds like to somebody else, maybe like, oh, it's a privilege, or, you know, you get to get your photo taken for free or whatever it is. Oh, you're complaining about your photo taken. And it's like, no, but beyond that, it's like the photographer says, like, I'm making this up, like, be sexy. Okay, now be funny. Now you're a detective. And then if you just do all those things, online there's a photo of you that's like,
yeah. Oh, Beth, you were describing my very first cast photo that they did for the challenge, Susie on the Ruins. They were like, okay, now do a goofy one. And they chose that.
Yes, they always choose that
one that they used. And I'm going like this. And I was
right.
Meanwhile, it's all these sexy girls in bikinis. Right. And then Sarah going like
total
this.
Assholes.
You're like, okay, well, now I know I know who I am on the show. Yeah. Or what they expect from me is to be a
wacky.
Yeah, so I'm the horse girl for forever is who I am. That's it. Yeah.
I know. And then you can internalize all kinds. Like, obviously, it's important to be safe in yourself, confident in yourself, and have it all come from within. It's very difficult to have that be happening. So, yeah, you can go, well, I know I feel confident. I feel attractive. It's like, or you can go, so they think I'm the funny, ugly one. Cool. Absolutely.
We're the sidekick.
Yeah.
We're the sidekick. That's totally
I see how I've been cast here, which can be brutal in that way. You know, we're just like, oh, God.
We've already kept you too long, but I feel like I would be remiss.
I'll hang out with you all day.
I really want to talk about your dad real bad.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever you want.
Okay.
Best.
So that guy seems like a real character.
I love how I go, we can talk about whatever you want after I just was like, and it's important to set boundaries.
Right. You have to respect yourself.
Respect yourself. Safe place. Blah blah blah.
It is different when you know someone's not trying to do like gotcha journalism, which has happened to me many times.
Right.
It's like you're driving on the road and like, so was it fun being on Kona? And then they're like, what's it like after you got AR'd?
What?
I mean, truly, I've been literally like sideswiped in interviews like that. Absolutely.
Oh,
so those are also the things that make you regret sharing or whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah. People mishandling
set and setting, as they say.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I just love that you include a lot about your family, but in particular how, you know, people are multitudes and how I really appreciate that it's not just like a villain and hero scenario. It's just like, this is my life.
True.
And I don't know if that's how you would characterize the way you share it, but that's how I perceived it.
I'm glad. I like hearing your reflection of it. It's one of those things where it's like, sure, you know, at some point in time, people stick with that you have a chosen family or your given family that you make work, or, you know, you make your choices in that way. You don't always have to stick with them. But I think something that is important about life is that everybody's not one thing. I think as a child, the way I grew up is like, you're good or you're bad. And that can result in unhealthy behavior as an adult. You know, like if in class you got in trouble, it's like, well, I wasn't talking. They did it. You know, it almost results in that sort of like, I'm good and you're bad. And we like being able to point at someone who's bad because then it's not us. And so my dad has definitely, you know, done things in the past that are not okay. And you have to ask yourself, is someone a forever monster or is there eventual redemption? And it doesn't mean it's easy, and it is ongoing. You know, they're just like we just said with even healing. It's like, he still says things that upset me. I've gone periods of time not talking to him, especially after we talked about partner assault. It's like he left me a wild ass voicemail after that, and it's like, and I felt upset, and it's like, I guess it's my job to explain to you why I didn't want to hear that from you. Because it feels like you had a bit of a hand in it. So it's sort of like, and he also, you know, struggles with mental illness, and so it's like you have to have compassion. You also, it's just like, people are contained multitudes. We know that. Everybody's not all one thing. And so can you leave room for them while also taking care of yourself? So I can love my dad and we can definitely not see eye to eye on something, as long as we're both not constantly trying to change each other. So, I mean, it'd be nice if you could hear each other out and have that shift a little with understanding. I feel like exposure and experience always shifts people's worldview. But with my dad in particular, it is important to just continue to maintain relationships, I suppose, with people who think differently. I mean, that is what I loved about Sarah Silverman's show, I Love You, America, and what she was attempting to do, which is like, yes, reach across the aisle, but like hear from these people and have them hang out with her and see it's like, I'm not a monster just because we think differently, and neither are you. You know, it's sort of just like the left and the right, particularly on issues that I don't agree with, can be so loud, and it's not representative of even a group or a number of people. It's just so loud. You know, the shame that comes with some of the stuff that with someone being very loud on a topic affects your feeling and your experience with it too. So yeah, I guess that is that was a really long answer, and I was kind of all over the place, but it's because my relationship with him is also all over the place, and some of the stuff we see differently on relates to those topics for sure.
I'm glad you shared it. I felt like that was so, it was funny, but it was also like, that's the experience of so many people where it's all the things and weird and dysfunctional, and there's love and.
Right. Because it's like, you know, that person is going to be gone at some point in time. And did you want to deal with it differently? What are they capable of in regard to change or understanding? Or, I mean, some people are very limited in their.
Yeah, very limited. Not a lot of room for movement, as my therapist likes to put it.
Yeah. So it's like, what do I do on my end? You know, keep my side as clean as possible, so I'm not holding on to things. But like, yeah, I just am sort of thinking like too, whenever I do talk about something like that openly, well, first of all, it's definitely people who've come before me, women who've come before me, like, who allowed me to have the courage to even say some of those things on stage. It's weird, all these little hills and valleys we go through in stand up about what's acceptable, what's talked about, what's not, you know, because women in the 80s were absolutely talking about abortion. And so it's sort of interesting how we 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And there's so many, you know, outspoken, cool, very, you know, liberal comics in the 80s, Women of the Night, HBO series. And it's like, but yeah, because of someone like Liz Winstead talking openly about that gave me the courage to then be like, yeah, same. So it's sort of like, and it doesn't matter how many, it doesn't matter anything. It's the fact that like, there was a time where I was nervous to talk about it on stage, and I'm not anymore. And the minute I normalize it, there is undoubtedly lots of women in the crowd who have had an abortion. Doesn't mean they need to, let's see. It just, all they have to do is sit there and go, oh, she's cool, and she did that. And it's not like, you know, this is why it opens us up to so many criticisms, because like, oh, it's not cool and you should feel bad about it. It's a sad thing. It's like, or it was something I chose to do. It was healthcare. I mean, like, I don't need to justify it, but it's just sort of like, that is the issue when you are talking about something that tends to be controversial. Like, well, you should be sad about it. It's like, or I shouldn't be, you know, like, or I'm actually very responsible. And what occurred was, you don't know my story. That's why I think it's important to read on so many different people's stories. Shout Your Abortion is a great Instagram to read all kinds of different feelings and views on it. It's a great way to like be like, okay, yeah, there's all different kinds of reasons and places. But when I'm normalizing it, when I talk about something on stage, which used to be scary for me, someone just can see it and go, okay, I'm not so bad, or whatever they're feeling. And other people and comics and friends know they could always call me and be like, I'm feeling sad, I'm going through this. It's like, yeah, you're sad because you're hormonal, and you're also sad because everybody has shamed you for a really long time. The world is loud with shame. So yeah, you're feeling stuff that you didn't create, you know, you're just existing in the world.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, you sound like a really good friend too.
Yeah. I'm here to make you feel not bad about that stuff.
Oh. Would you say that you would be willing to be our best friend, or?
Yeah.
I'm glad she said it, not me.
I am willing. We, so also too, this is, I mean, I know I'm being interviewed or whatever, but, early days. So I worked in a bagel shop for years, one at Miami University in Ohio, and then one in Chicago at Chicago Bagel Authority. Anyway, in college, this is the perfect place to tell this story, to be honest. I worked at the bagel shop. It was called Bagel and Deli. It was so cool. It was an honor to work there. It was like our own little sorority fraternity type thing. Very deadhead, hippie-ish people. And you had to memorize all the bagels. We all took our job very seriously because it was an honor to work there. And students could submit a bagel. We put it up. If it got ordered enough, it stays on the menu. And we had all kinds of bagels, like I'm trying to think of funny examples. The Tanya Harding Club. There's like Studs Turkle. Well, maybe that's the Chicago version. There was like O'Doyle Rules, like all kinds of bagels that students made up. And like the 5-0 was like bacon and cream cheese. And anyway, you get it. Yeah. So sorry, I'm like really. I just got to get it out.
Scared.
Johnny Bananas comes up with a bagel.
Oh no!
He's dating some girl at my university for a while there. She was Billy Joel. We were somehow like known for being like hot gals at Miami University in Ohio, the Center for Paper Science Engineering. Anyway. Well, I hated him like with a passion. Like
we are best friends.
I hated him. I hate his character. I don't even know what it is. It's just like not my.
We know what it is. It's just
Well,
just
you guys
good
are around
instinct. Is what you have.
Now, this is like what would it have been? 2005 or something. Who fucking knows? I kept taking his sign down so people couldn't order it.
See.
He calls and asks to speak with me.
No! Oh my God.
So we're on a landline here. I'm talking to Johnny Bananas in Oxford, Ohio.
Oh my God.
I didn't do it for attention. I did it because I don't like the guy. I don't want to have a bagel at my bagel shop that people order because they think he's cool. He's a fucking douche. So I take it down. He calls. You guys.
Wow.
You guys.
Manager.
Because I'm the one who's tearing it down. He goes, I don't want to get this wrong because let's just say it's not verbatim, but I'm not exaggerating. He was like, I'm a fucking star. You'll amount to fucking nothing. You're in Oxford, Ohio. You'll never be anything, you bitch. Something like this. It was like, I'm a star. Leave my shit up. Don't touch it again. You'll never be anything. So my whole life's work has been.
You owe it to that.
I'm sure he still has more followers than me, but someday.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is the greatest because Susie and I, when we were on our first challenge together, Johnny told us that the only reason we were friends, this was just a showmance, and we weren't really friends. So we always joke that we've only kept in this friendship to prove this is my whole life's work.
All of our careers are.
You know what he would say?
Him.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You know what he would say? You're welcome, bitches. I did that on purpose. No, I don't know him.
What
and obviously this was like 2005. You guys.
What were the ingredients?
Or 07. 07. It was I think it was a banana nut bagel with. We had a banana nut and cinnamon raisin, but I think it was banana nut bagel. I think it was either peanut butter or cream cheese with bananas and cinnamon sugar. I'm almost positive. But here's the thing. We already had a banana surprise, which was like so similar. Banana surprise is like, we have shirts that say banana surprise. Like it was one of our most popular bagels. So when he comes in with this Johnny Banana shit, I was like, S my D, we don't need it. We have a banana bagel. And if people want to switch the peanut butter to cream cheese, they can. So the banana surprise was cream cheese, cinnamon sugar, banana on a banana nut. I
did not see this coming.
His was some sort of different version of that. And I was like, we don't need it. We don't need it. We don't want any.
This is proof that this is all a simulation. We're creating our own reality. Somehow I created this. Maybe you're the main character in your story, but in mine, my favorite comedian is telling me that my arch nemesis is also hers. I think this was not in my bingo
feels
card.
Ordained.
When people tell me that he's their favorite, I'm like, you might not be my friend.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if I can trust you.
Oh my God.
But obviously people change, yada yada. It was
Yada yada. Okay.
People do.
13.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
That's ridiculous. Thank you for sharing that.
What a treat. What a treat.
What a treat.
Anyway, thank you for having me.
We love you. You're the best. Don't stop.
I love you guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye, friend.